Good evening. I would like to start by thanking all who have supported and support Achena Cancer Support, deliver its most important service to the Kehillah, to people and their families who unfortunately have to go through this hard, painful journey of cancer. Rabbi Isai, imagine yourself or a family member, after a visit to your GP, he sends you to the hospital for a scan. You then meet the doctor in the hospital and he turns around to you and says to you, the unfortunate news, you have cancer. The shock to anyone being in that situation, hearing such words, is something you cannot imagine. Cancer is not nice. It's not nice being unwell. It's not nice having the challenging illness of cancer. It was just 4 months after the passing of my second sister who passed away from cancer. I wasn't feeling good and I felt a lump in the side of my throat. I paid a visit to my GP and he sent me to hospital for various biopsies, MRIs, scans and tests. It wasn't pleasant, it wasn't nice. I remember coming in the room of the consultant after going through several weeks of this, and his very cold manner, sitting there and telling me it's his last day in this particular hospital, and that what I have is 1 in a million chance it's cancer. And he turns around to me and he says, actually, you're one of those 1 in a million that you have cancer. I was shocked, with tears in my eyes, that I had to accept a very big challenge. I was broken. I walked out of there worried, nervous, upset, thinking what's the months and days and weeks ahead going to bring for my family and myself. I didn't know where to turn or who to turn to. I went from moments of thinking, it'll be fine, I'll get through it. And then I had my time when I was very low. I came home and a close friend of mine said to me, there's a Yid in Stamford Hill called Moshe Heshkan. He runs an organization called Achena Cancer Support. Call him, see if he can help you. I didn't want to. I didn't have confidence. But I called him. I left him a message, and I think about 10 minutes later, there was a man on the phone in a very rough voice, say hello, introducing himself. It was Moshe Heshkan. It was enough to put me off. He said to me, email me straight away all your results, whatever you have. I want to have a look at it. It wasn't too much longer after that. He phoned me up tomorrow afternoon. This was going to be a Thursday. I'm taking you down to Harley Street to see a professor and we'll see what they can do for you. I never heard of ACS. I was nervous. I was worried. I was concerned. I didn't know which way I was turning. Tomorrow afternoon, Moshe Hesh turned up at my house to pick me up and take me to this appointment. On the way, I wanted to find out, what is ACS? And I said to Moshe Hesh, tell me about your organization. And he answered me, we will do everything, the full package. Don't worry, we will take care of absolutely everything. Rabbi said, I will explain to you later on what that meant. The professor checked me over and said I need to get transferred to the UCH hospital, and there I'll be able to get transferred under him and he'll take care of me. There was a way of doing it. I left there, said to Moshe Hesh, how am I going to cope? He said, leave it to us. We will take care of it. We will do it. And the next day, which was a Friday, things were put in place. And the following week, I was already meeting the professor at the UCH. I was then introduced to a very special person from Achenu, Rabbi Sol Shimon Wozner, who I never knew, and little did I know only lived around the corner from me. Become a very close friend of mine, and I've learned so much from him. His way he deals with things, his calmness. It was definitely felt that the Eibishter sent me the right shliach to look after me and help me and guide me through this journey of cancer. Thinking back a lot about my wife and my family and my children, having Rabbi Sol Shimon there, supporting us in every step of the way, every minute we needed him, day or night, was something which helped us get through this challenge, through this situation, much easier. After further tests and scans in the hospital, it was time for us to meet the team who were going to operate on me and what was going to be further. Rabbi Sol Shimon accompanied me to every appointment, every meeting in the hospital, and the plans were put into place. And they said to me that the operation is going to be Erev Shabbos Parshas Zocher. I pleaded with the doctors. I said, there's a Jewish festival coming up the following week, which is Purim, and I didn't want to miss it. I didn't want to be in hospital over Purim. Rabbi Sol Shimon turned to me and said to me, don't worry, we will take care of it. The Eibishter will help us. Don't worry, I'll make sure you get an earlier operation. It was Monday morning, 2 weeks before Purim. I was sitting at work, my phone goes, it was the hospital on the phone. We have an appointment for you on the Friday for the operation. Do you want it? Of course, I took it. That Friday morning, early, Rabbi Sol Shimon was outside my house, 6:30 in the morning, to take me to hospital for the operation. We got there, waited around. Before Rabbi Sol Shimon worked out that they made a mistake and I was on the afternoon list. He took me back home. Remember, Rabbi said this is a Friday or Shabbos, and then brought me back to hospital, sat with me until I was taken down to theatre. I couldn't have done without him. I couldn't have done without Achenu. My family wouldn't have coped without it. Baruch Shem, the operation went well, and things worked out. I was in hospital for a week. And there's certain moments when you're in hospital you remember. Like 7:30 one morning, Rabbi Sol Shimon phones me up and says, are you okay? I'm nearly at the hospital. Can I bring you an iced coffee? Half an hour later, he was there on the ward. I, Baruch Shem, came home in time and recovered, had to get my strength back from the operation, where soon after, the big meeting in the hospital was about the treatment. They tell you what the treatment's involved. You hear it. You don't want to believe it. Sol Shimon was with me, explained. We worked out the program. I had to have 6 weeks of intense treatment every day in hospital. This was now coming up to Pesach, and we agreed we're going to start it straight after Pesach. As time was going on, my parents were getting very suspicious what was wrong with me. And we had to do everything to camouflage that they shouldn't find out another one of their children is suffering from cancer after losing 2 children already. Monday morning, straight after Pesach, was my first day going to hospital for treatment. And I was very concerned. This was in lockdown with Corona. And me going out, I was very vulnerable. And I had to be very careful what I do. And I didn't want to travel in a taxi randomly every day to and from hospital. Rabbi Sol Shimon said, don't worry. I'll set you up a team of volunteers. Every day they'll come, they'll take you, they'll make sure you're looked after. And so it was. Treatment started slowly. And as the weeks went in, I started suffering terrible. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. The pain was bad. And it was a very hard test to go through. One Friday, the treatment took so long. The volunteer had to go home. His Sol Shimon came to pick me up from hospital and saw what a state was in when I was going home. Just before Shabbos, he's back at my house delivering to my children ice cream and nash and thick goods for Shabbos to cheer up the family and give them something nice to have for Shabbos. Day in, day out, the volunteers came and took me, and Baruch Hashem, I got through the 6 weeks of treatment. I asked myself, am I a cancer survivor, or am I a survivor of a big test with the Abishter sent to me? I know the answer, and I'm proud of it. Achenu Cancer Support, if only all they were offering is financial support, if only all they were offering was emotional support, if only all they were offering is hospital support, if only all they were offering was fast-tracking appointments, if only all they were offering was private appointments when the NHS couldn't help, if only all they were offering was family support, if only all they were offering was holidays and outings for the families of those suffering from this terrible machla, there would be a little bit to say what Achenu Cancer Support does for people with cancer. I would just mentioning some of the things they did to help me and my family get through this terrible matzav. I can go on, there's so much more. These special Yidden, Reb Moshe Hesh, Reb Yisrael Shimon, if people would know what they've put into this, what they do, it's absolutely unbelievable. And your support tonight, what you're giving to help Achenu B'nai Yisrael who are suffering in this terrible matzav is so special and so great. I want to finish off by thanking Achenu Cancer Support for giving me this wonderful opportunity, for allowing me to express how wonderful and amazing they are and how vital their work is in the Kehillah. I want to thank everybody for listening to me tonight, because we all are Achenu Kol Yisrael. Thank you.